Welcome to part 9 of our series on finding hope when life is fearful. When we're faced with a fearful situation, we tend to respond in one of two different ways, and we call this our fight or flight response. If we feel like we can overcome whatever is causing our fear, that is our fight response. We fight back against it. If, on the other hand, we don't feel like we can overcome it, we feel like it is too big for us, then our flight response kicks in and we get out of the way so that we don't get hurt. And this is often the best move. If I'm hiking through the woods and I come across a bear, you better hope that it is my flight response and not my fight response that kicks in. But fear requires a response. Internalizing our fears is not a good option. That just leads to paralysis and inaction. We have to respond. We have to do something with our fear. And in the world we live in today, with all its challenges and all its problems, often our flight response is going to be the right response because we can't confront it directly. But even in our flight response, we can respond in unhealthy ways. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How do we seek to escape from fearful situations in ways that are unhealthy? One of the key ways that we do this is through dangerous, addictive behavior. We turn to things like smoking to momentarily take away our stress. Or maybe we abuse alcohol so that we can forget, so that we can numb the fear and the pain. Or maybe we turn to some kind of narcotics, legal or illegal, and we abuse them so that we can forget, so that we numb the pain, so that it goes away at least for a little while. Sometimes we choose unhealthy relationships or sex or pornography, something to momentarily gratify us, or a person that will momentarily make us feel loved and accepted and secure and safe, even if they're the wrong person. Sometimes we choose food. We overeat, or we do the opposite and we develop an eating disorder and we eat too little and we destroy ourselves through food. Sometimes we even turn to hurting ourselves, cutting, or other self-destructive behavior in order to momentarily feel something else and to seek an unhealthy release of our pain and our fear. These are all misguided attempts to ease our pain through some sort of temporary escape. They damage our health. They damage our reputation. They hurt other people. It costs money that we don't have. And ultimately, these things create distance between us and God, who is the source of real comfort and hope and peace and even wisdom. And so our tip for today is, instead of developing a habit of escape, develop a habit of prayer. In Psalm 34:4, it says, "I prayed to the Lord, and He answered me. He freed me from all my fears." That is a healthy way to escape, not by numbing your pain, but by being free from your fears, by releasing it over to God. Prayer doesn't mask or numb fear, it releases it. Prayer calms your soul in ways that are healthy instead of ways that are unhealthy. Prayer changes your perspective so that you see things God's way instead of simply seeing things from your limited, fearful human point of view. C.S. Lewis said of praying, he said, "I pray because I can't help myself. I pray because I'm helpless. I pray because the need flows out of me all the time, waking and sleeping. It doesn't change God, it changes me." Finally, prayer gives you wisdom on how to approach this situation well. And just like we can develop unhealthy habits of behavior, we can develop healthy habits, and one of the key ones is prayer. So when we feel overwhelmed, whenever we feel fear, Instead of turning to one of these unhealthy sources to numb it, to help us to forget, to put it out of our minds for a while, instead change our response and develop a habit of turning to the one who gives real hope. And talk to him and listen and let him change you and see what happens to your fear.